How Barack Obama is using sleight-of-mouth patterns in conversations. Actually, I think that every president is highly trained in frame control and debating skills, but I just stumbled upon a funny video, it's not political, some funny video where Barack Obama is debating with an actor, and I thought that compared to all the other guests that I have seen on this show, he is really by far the one who can maintain the most the frame control, despite all the attacks that the other one is throwing at him. Before watching, sorry for the aggressive bulldogs who came here to debate upon the Republicans or liberals, because there is not any political debate in this video. If you came here for this, please exit now because it is not a subject. This video is only to talk about communication skills, persuasion skills, and how you can become able to master those persuasive abilities. The example is from a funny TV show called Between Two Ferns, where Zack, the guy you know from The Hangover, is asking embarrassing questions to the guest he's having. And one time he had Barack Obama. I don't know how he got him, but... And since it is a TV show, you may think that it was scripted, that all of it was scripted, and obviously some part of it was maybe discussed before the interview. But I have seen a lot of other guests in this show, and I have never seen any of them, even very fluent speakers. I have never seen any of them debating and maintaining the frame as much as Barack Obama is doing in this video, which is why I wanted to cover it. For those who don't know what sleight of mouth are, which is what he is using inside this video, this was basically an attempt at codifying, at finding some model of how great leaders can make people follow them, how great communicators could debate in a way that nobody could refute what they were saying. So here it is. The show was called Between Two Ferns, and this is the sleight of mouth model that I am going to use to explain what the communication abilities he has fit into that model. Let's...
I read somewhere that you'd be sending Hulk Hogan to Syria, or is that more of a job for Tanya Harding?
Zack, he's not our ambassador.
So the first thing you are going to notice in this whole interview, well, it's more a funny TV show than an interview, but the thing you are going to see most is that Barack Obama is always maintaining the frame, always controlling the frame. Like, when somebody is attacking you, you can see in there saying mean things means you're a bad person, which is basically something that somebody might be throwing at you if you were saying something mean, or something that somebody else has been interpreting as being mean. When somebody is attacking you or something, the basic response everybody has is jumping inside the hoop. And what Zack is doing on all the Between Two Ferns show is attacking people and with embarrassing questions and trying to make them jump into his hoops, which most people on the show do. But not Barack Obama. He's always refuting, he's always reframing and never directly jumping inside the hoops. He's always using one of those patterns to rearrange or rephrase or do something with the attack that Zack has been throwing. That way he never really jumps into the hoops that Zack is throwing.
What should we do about North IKEA? North.
Why don't we move on?
Controlling.
I have to know, what is it like to be the last black president?
Seriously? What's it like for this to be the last time you ever talked to a president?
It must.
So, and on top of the frame control, what he has been doing there, so the basic frame Zack threw out was, what is it like to be the last black president? It was an attack or somebody trying to drag you down. And what was the answer was what we call an apply to self pattern, because he said, what is it like to be the last time you ever talked to a president? So he's reusing the phrase, he is reusing the idea of the attack, but reframing it in a way that all the negative energy is thrown back at Zack. Therefore, he doesn't jump into the hoop. He doesn't answer, because it is like he thinks that he doesn't even have to answer to such a stupid question. So he reframes by applying to self what Zack has just said.
Kind of stink though that you can't run, 3 times.
No, actually, I think it's a good idea. If I ran a third time, it'd be sort of like doing a third Hangover movie. Didn't really work out very well, did it? Now, I have to say that I've seen this show before, and some of the episodes have probably been a little bit better than this. For example, the one with Bradley Cooper, that was a great show.
Bradley Cooper, yeah, everybody loves
He kind of carried that movie, didn't he?
Which film are you speaking?
You see, on the opposite, where every time Zack so far has been throwing some attacks, some attacking question, Barack Obama never jumped inside. He always reframed. But now Barack Obama is attacking. Of course, it is a playful. It's not really a real conversation. It's more playful. But even if it is just an imaginary debate, Barack Obama is throwing some attack, like in The Hangover, Bradley Cooper has been carrying on the movie. And what Zack does is jumping inside. Zack is actually answering, oh, what movie? And well, I understand it is playful, but it is still, on the communication level, it is still Zack jumping into a negative hoop about himself, which he could have just reframed. Same thing, applying to self, or doing something to not even jump inside, but he jumped inside.
Those hangover movies, basically he carried them.
Yeah, everybody loves Bradley. Good for him.
Good-looking guy.
Being like that in Hollywood, that's easy. Tall, handsome, that's easy. Be short, fat, and smell like Doritos and try to make it in Hollywood. Is it going to be hard in 2 years when you're no longer president and people will stop letting you win at basketball?
How does it feel having a 3-inch vertical?
It's a
Once again, the apply to self. When Zack said, "What will it be like? What will it be like when people stop letting you play at basketball?" And he applied back to self. He applied it back to Zack. What is it like to be a 3-inch vertical? So he is always returning and not accepting this negative energy that Zack is throwing, and instead redirecting it towards Zack instead of jumping inside the hoop.
3-inch horizontal. So, where are you planning on building a presidential library, in Hawaii or your home country of Kenya? Because, I mean, both places seem like they would be...
Zack, that's a ridiculous question.
Well, you know, I mean, not to bring up the birth certificate thing, but you really never did really produce your real...
Where's your birth certificate? Why don't you show it to us right now?
I don't...
Once again, well, this one, yeah, it's once again an apply to self, so this is the one Barack Obama seems to really enjoy. I should watch, or maybe you can watch other debates that Barack Obama has been having with real opponents in front of him, and see if he's really using this one a lot. I think so. Once again, Zack attacking on, why don't you show us your birth certificate, because maybe you're not even a US citizen? and Barack Obama once again is applying to self, is redirecting, why don't you show us yours? Because if your attack is real, if I should produce my birth certificate to prove you anything, and of course I don't have my birth certificate on me, but instead of saying that, he says, where is yours? Like, if you allow yourself to attack me on this, on my birth certificate, then show us yours, to prove that it is that easy to have it on yourself, which Zack cannot really refute neither. Therefore, Barack Obama still has the edge on the debate skills, on the debate level.
I don't want to show anybody my birth certificate because it's embarrassing.
What's embarrassing about it?
My weight.
And then so Barack Obama has set the new frame, where is yours? So he reframed the initial attack from Zack, and now he's chunking down. What's embarrassing about it? Which means, and Zack answers, which means he's staying inside the negative loop that Barack Obama has just thrown in response to the first one. Once again, I know it is playful, but it is still a good example of how you can use that stuff in your real life.
On it, it says that I was born 7 pounds, 800 ounces. You know what I would do if I were president, Mr. President? I would make same-sex divorce illegal, then see how bad they want it.
I think that's why you're not president.
This is called a consequence pattern, just here. Consequence because on this side, when he says, yeah, if I was president, I wish I would do this, this is why you're not president. So whenever somebody is throwing some attack at you, you can say, yeah, this is why you're not, or this is why this will never happen. So it is presupposing that if what you say is true, then something bad will happen anyway. Which means, yeah, sure, be right. Just understand that what you're going to do is just a piece of shit.
And that's a good thing.
You said if you had a son, you would not let him play football. What makes you think that he would want to play football? What if he was a nerd like you?
Do you think a woman like Michelle would marry a nerd?
This one was really bad. What if he is a nerd like you on the basic frame? What if he's a nerd like you? And on this one, Barack Obama kind of half jumped inside because he answered, but what he did was called changing the frame size by introducing another person into the equation. Because from the statement Zack has made, the equation is Zack asking the question, Barack Obama answering, and the potential son of Barack Obama. What he does in response is changing the frame size by introducing another person to the equation, which is his wife. Saying, do you think a wife like mine would marry a nerd? And as long as Zack doesn't refute that Michelle Obama is an incredible wife, Zack is implicitly accepting that frame that Barack Obama has been putting on him. Therefore, once again, Barack Obama keeps the edge.
Why don't you ask her whether she thinks I'm a nerd?
Could I?
No, I'm not going to let her near you.
So do you go to any websites that are .coms or .nets, or do you mainly just stick with .govs?
Okay, and then they are going into some political stuff about the healthcare, and I don't want to get into this stuff because it is not a political video. So I will end this here, but to keep on the sleight of mouth model. So you saw some examples of how those patterns can be used in a real conversation. I know it was a playful debate, it was not serious, but it was still great examples of how you can use that stuff in your day-to-day conversations, especially when somebody is trying to drag you down and to prove you wrong or something that you don't like. Basically, whenever somebody is attacking you on some belief or some statement here, like let's say you are somebody short, and let's say somebody is attacking you on short people are never successful. Of course, it is bullshit and we don't care about this. The point is somebody is attacking you on this if you're short. Instead of answering, I disagree, or no, you're wrong, which is very super basic level, you can right away go into some of the reframes around here to even avoid letting that person put all this negative energy on you. For instance, short people are never successful. Reality strategy, how do you know that? How do you even know it is true? How do you even know what you say is not false? Applying to self, to get the one that Barrack has been using. Applying to self, what makes you think that people of your size are that successful? Counter example, how do you know that somebody of your size has never been successful? Or how do you know somebody of your size has never had the kind of trouble you're referring to by this statement? Here are kind of criteria. What is the most important thing? Being short, well, being of normal size, or being a great communicator to succeed in life? What is the most important? Don't you think that being a good communicator is a better skill to have than being to normal size physically? And you can just throw a lot of these patterns all at once. When you become fluent with them, at some point you so much overwhelm the conscious mind of the person listening to you that at some point it's not even possible to refute what you say anymore, because the person will just be lost into all of those patterns. Now, the real power of this comes when all of those patterns are intuitive. And I will make more videos about this, but if you have something specific that you want to learn from this, please comment and I will answer. I will try my best to make a video specifically to help you learn it more easily.